Hi, in today's video we will discuss, wait, before I get started, I have some housekeeping. Last week, I erroneously gave the wrong score for the UConn win over South Carolina. The correct score was 87-58. The players were AZ Fudd, Paige Beckers, and Sarah Strong, who were all phenomenal. Now, are we good, Huskies fans? Are we good now? All right, good. Let's keep it moving. Also, if you haven't seen our piece on the Jersey Mike's Naismith Awards for high school girls, please go and check that out. But be careful over there, because Lauren Bett's mom is checking out them comments, and we don't want her to have to get y'all right. All right, go check that out for us and leave it a like. Thanks. This week, we will discuss the AP Top 10 teams, the availability report, the AP Top 25 exits and enters, great matchups from the week, and boy, did the ACC bring the drama. Conference standings, as we are very close to the conference playoffs, and must watch for the last week of regular season, week 18. Now, let me officially welcome you to Davis Sports Report. Thank you to all of our subscribers for showing us love, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Also, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. It's a free way to help us out. Now let's go ahead and get started with the AP Top 10 teams. Okay, so our new number 1 is Texas, who rose by 1 point. Next up, coming in at number 2 is going to be UCLA, who rose by 1 point. Third ranked is going to be Notre Dame, who fell by 2 points. Next is going to be USC, who remained the same at number 4. UConn remained the same at number 5. South Carolina remained the same at number 6. And LSU remained the same at number 7. At number 8, we have North Carolina, who rose by 1. Number 9 is NC State, who rose by 4, and welcome to the top 10. And next is going to be at number 10, TCU, who remained the same. And on the availability report, Kiyomi McMiller of Rutgers continues to be out. But this week, her coach didn't take any questions about her. I'm kind of starting to think there's something going on. What do you guys think? Do you know something I don't know? If so, please leave it in the comment because this seems a little weird. Also, Tanaya Latson of FSU remained out for Week 17 with an injury. And also for FSU, Omariah Gordon was out with an unknown injury. Her last game was February 16th against Miami. Then for Nebraska, freshman Britt Prince was out with an ankle injury. She's listed as day-to-day. And for UCLA, Janiah Barker was out for 1 game and only played 8 minutes in the game against Iowa. Now to the exit and enters. As you can see, there was lots of shakeup happening this week. The biggest falls were Duke, who fell 5, and Georgia Tech, who fell right off the top 25. Also, falling off the top 25 was Illinois. And yeah, I pretty much called this one last week, so that's not a surprise. And with 2 exits, there's going to be 2 new teams. That would be Florida State rejoining the top 25 and Louisville, who hasn't been in the top 25 since week 5. Welcome back, Louisville. Now let's talk great matchups from last week, and boy, were there many. Next up was West Virginia upset 12th ranked Kansas State. The first quarter ended with a 19-9 tie, but West Virginia pulled ahead with a 6-point lead in the second. West Virginia continued to outscore Kansas State in the remaining half, ending the game up by 13. The high scores for Kansas State was Tamira Poindexter with 17 points, and the high score for West Virginia was J.J. Quinterly with an impressive 26 points, followed by Jordan Harris with 18, and on defense, Kaya Watson pulled down 15 rebounds. Moving on to Southern Cal versus Michigan State, where Grace Van Slooten had 29 points for the Spartans. But it wasn't enough to defeat the Trojans. Juju Watkins had 28 points and 8 rebounds, while Kiki Ariafin had a double-double, 24 points and 10 rebounds. Next on the docket is unranked Louisville taking out 11th-ranked Duke. And the ACC drama begins. Louisville got ahead in the second quarter, giving them a 6-point lead going into the half. But Duke came back out swinging, outscoring Louisville by 6 to end the third, tied at 45. And in the fourth is where the tide turned, and it was free throws, free throws, free throws. Louisville got 18 of their 25 fourth quarter points at the free throw line. And the fouls simply got out of hand. Duke takes a death by free throws loss. Continuing, we have North Carolina State, who had a massive week last week, taking out 20th-ranked Georgia Tech. Tech has really fallen from the start of the season when they were undefeated for a good bit of time. The freshman Danny Carnegie had a decent game, coming off the bench to contribute 16 points. She was 4 of 10 from the three. And Toni Morgan was the high scorer for the Yellow Jackets with 17 points. For the Lady Wolfpack, Zoe Brooks and Isaiah James both had 17 points, Sanaya Rivers had 16 points, and Madison Hayes had 14 points. Tilda Trigger, Sanaya Rivers, and Madison Hayes had a combined 20 rebounds. And I have to tell you, the freshman Tilda Trigger is coming into her own. Next up is Tennessee, who took out Alabama, and this was not an easy win for Tennessee. Alabama ended the first up by 5, but Tennessee outscored the Roll Tide by 10 in the second. Coming back from the half, Tennessee kept the lead, and Alabama rallied in the fourth but couldn't make up the difference. The lead scorer for Alabama was Sarah Ashley Barker with 22 points and 6 rebounds, and the lead scorer for the Lady Vols was Jewel Spear with 20 points, followed by Talisha Cooper with 16. And possibly the most exciting game of the season was North Carolina State taking down the number 1 ranked Notre Dame. Please don't tell anyone that I said they didn't have a chance to take out Notre Dame in the ACC race to the championship piece. They have an opportunity to take out Georgia Tech for a second time. Not much chance that they will beat Notre Dame, but they should easily take out Wake Forest. And we are just going to keep that our little secret. This game went into double overtime, ending regulation with a 3-pointer by Sonia Citrone that I think shocked everyone. I'm a fan of both of these rosters, so I was torn the entire game. It was must-see TV as Zoe Brooks and Hannah Hidalgo really put on a show. Hidalgo ended the game with 26 points, 5 rebounds, and was 8 of 26 from the field goal, putting her at 30.7 field goal percentage for the game. She fouled out in the second overtime, but for me, there was nothing to lose, so way to go, leaving it all on the court. Sonia Citrone had an amazing game, and as I say about her often, she is always on time. Sonia ended the game with 23 points, 7 rebounds, and was 11 of 18 from the field goal, giving her a 61% field goal percentage. For the Wolfpack, Zoe Brooks had a massive game, ending with 33 points, 10 rebounds. She was 9 of 20 from the field goal, giving her a 45% field goal percentage. And her co-superwoman was Isaiah James, who went out of the game for a short time due to a headbutt with Lai Tu King. Isaiah had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and was 8 of 19 from the field goal, giving her a 42% field goal percentage. Also for the Lady Wolfpack, Tilda Trigger had 19 points, Madison Hayes contributed 12, and Sanaya Rivers had a double-double, 14 points and 13 rebounds. And we have West Virginia again, this time going down to TCU. Sedona Prince and Haley Van Lith duo is back in action. Van Lith ended with 26 points, and Sedona had 20. For the South Carolina versus Vanderbilt game, the Gamecocks did what we expected and took down Vandy without issue. Malaysia Fulwiley was the high scorer with 24 points, followed by Joyce Edwards with 21. The Lady Gamecocks held Vandy's Michaela Blakes to 19 points. And lastly, LSU beat Kentucky 65-58, and this was actually a very tight game. Coach Kenny Brooks and Georgia Amore feels there's some nefarious things going on in the SEC. So let's hear what they have to say. Then I will play some clips to see if he's right. There will be questions in the video, so pay attention because I'd like to know what you guys think.
I thought it was and especially that first half when we didn't have our full complement of players, when Tiani got in her second foul extremely early in the game and Claire Strack got a second foul. We still held our own. So, I was pleased with that in the first half, and then obviously they got it loose in the second half.
Coach, I remember at the beginning of the season you talked about the team needing to play with more aggression. I want to know how you feel they stepped up, especially in the first half against a team that's known for their aggression and really playing.
We're no punks. And, the kids will fight. They'll fight. And, honestly, I'll be very candid and I'll be very honest. 14 SEC games that we had. And I'm still trying to figure out what is and what isn't. She said foul, I didn't. We're trying to figure it out. You know, every game is different. Every game is different. And, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, well, they're not calling pushes in the back or, you know, anything, and then we barely push in the back and then it's a foul, you know, and so we're trying to figure it out.
Okay, then. I mean, you guys saw the footage. Now let's hear what Georgia Amore has to say. Here is one thing I will point out, is that Cheyenne Day Wilson was on her like white on rice. She played some hardcore defense to shut Georgia out. Let's go look.
And obviously this is my first year in the SEC. It's her first year in the SEC. The amount of grabs and holds and that, you know, we're trying to figure it out. You know, we're trying to figure it out. So we're 10-4. You know, we're 10-4 with two to go, and we're still in position. We control our own destiny, and so I like their fight. I like their fight. You know, and you know, we teach to play the game a certain way, and maybe we have to figure out the way that it's played and adapt.
Georgia, Kentucky Insider, what message would you have to little girls that are watching you play and watch your mental toughness as well as your on-court toughness?
I mean, I just try to make lessons or silver linings out of little things. That kind of helps me. It's an honor that I get the defensive pressure I get. It's an honor that they scout me the way they scout me. It's an honor that I get grabbed and face guarded when they're passing the ball in.
She did take a beating there, that's for sure. I watched the game and was surprised at the calls considering the game was played in Kentucky. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Come on through, LSU fans. I know y'all watch. Let me know what you're thinking. Now let's talk conference standings, as this will have an impact on conference tournament seeding, allowing the top 4 a couple of extra days of rest, giving them a double bye. We will start with the ACC, where there remains to be a tie for Duke and Louisville for the last spot. Duke has 2 ranked games remaining this week with UNC and FSU, while Louisville will meet Clemson and Notre Dame this week, so this one will come down to the wire. For the SEC, the top 3 are secure, but Kentucky has to hold on to keep the 4th spot. Kentucky has Tennessee and South Carolina remaining, so this will be a tough one for them. Now on to the Big Ten. It remains a tight race as Maryland is only 1 game up from Illinois, Michigan, and Michigan State. Maryland will be facing Indiana and Ohio State. Yikes. And for the Big 12, there is a 2-way tie for the 4th spot, but they are only 1 loss above West Virginia. Oklahoma State will face Cincinnati and Kansas University, and Utah will face West Virginia and BYU. If West Virginia can get that win, it will shake things up. We did cover some of the must-watch games already, but here's what we will be watching. Baylor versus Kansas State. Michigan versus Ohio State. North Carolina versus Duke. If Duke wins, it shakes things up in the ACC standings. Tennessee versus Kentucky, another important in-conference game. FSU versus Notre Dame, and I am praying Tania Latson is back, as I would love to see her and Hidalgo battle it out on the floor. And USC versus UCLA for the second round. And then South Carolina versus Kentucky. Our question of the weeks are, will USC be able to take out UCLA for a second time, or do you think UCLA will shut Juju down? And do you think Kentucky can hold on to their number 4 spot in the SEC by winning their remaining games against Tennessee and South Carolina? Leave your comments and hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.